It's the USF coming back at your love. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. So we're gonna get to these picks and predictions for week 3 of the NFL season, which is in full effect, people. So we got week 3 full effect. But before we start anything, if you're not subscribed to USF Gang, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, comment your opinion below, turn on post notifications so you know every time I got some content for you. We'll get right into this video. So first game of the Sunday, on this list at least, Bills versus Vikings. You look at this and you see the Bills, who are arguably the worst team in the league right now. They had a player retire at halftime. Vontae Davis retired at halftime. That's how bad they are, okay? So he retired, and then we got the Minnesota Vikings playing at home, this game being at home, and Minnesota Vikings coming off a tie game against Aaron Rodgers, the GOAT, and they tie. So you looking at this game, you're looking at the Bills and the Vikings. Now, who would I pick between these two teams? This one's pretty easy. I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings. I ain't gonna talk. Let's get into the next one. New York Giants versus the Houston Texans. Now you look at this game right here. Both of these teams coming to this game are 0-2. This game is being played at Houston, where Deshaun Watson, he has hit his groove in the previous game against the Tennessee Titans, but did end up losing that game. Shocker to most. We don't know how, but they did lose. They did lose that game. So you look at this game where the Giants have come off a loss against the Dallas Cowboys. So it was a horrendous loss, looking at the fact that the O-line looked terrible, even though they put so much money into upgrading that, so much time into upgrading that, and it looked terrible. So you look at both of these games, you got a great defensive line, and J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney probably playing this game. And it's at home at Houston, so I'm gonna have to go with Houston this game. But don't be surprised if this game is very close. These guys are fighting for their season. No team has came back from a 0-3 deficit on the season to go and make the playoffs, and the Houston Texans are poised to have the talent to do so. So I have them winning this game simply because they needed to get in the playoffs, and I feel like by this being at home, that crowd is gonna be rowdy to try to help them do just that. So we're gonna get into the fourth game. We got the Packers versus the Washington Redskins. Now you look at the Packers, they have Aaron Rodgers, which is the GOAT in my opinion, on their team as their quarterback. And you look at Washington Redskins, who has Alex Smith, and Alex Smith played a good game last weekend, even though they got blown out, got lost in the shuffle with the Indianapolis Colts. But the fact of the matter is, Alex Smith still looks good. He's still a competent QB. But when you look into this game, I feel like this is the type of game that's an upset type game for the Packers early on in the season, because after a few games they start hitting their stride, and a lot of those games they don't lose those. So I'm gonna have them losing this game, especially because Washington is at home this game. So I'm gonna have Washington winning this game against the Packers. Let's move on. We have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we've seen Patrick Mahomes on his hot streak. He had 6 touchdowns last week. And then we saw Jimmy G. He struggled a little bit with the Detroit Lions coming into that game. And now you come into this game, and this game is at home where Patrick Mahomes hasn't been at home. So you're looking at this game right here. And I'm going to go with the Chiefs here because they're too talented offensively for Patrick Mahomes to lose this game against a Jimmy G-led 49ers team. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs at home, especially. I got them winning. So we have the Raiders versus the Dolphins. The Raiders are 0-2 coming to this game, and Miami Dolphins is the opposite, being undefeated on the season right now. This is at Miami. You look at the game right here where John Gruden has had tough games in this is the past 2 weeks. You look at the fact that they played the #1 team in football right now, and the LA Rams, and got blown out, and then they lost a tough one at Mount High against the Denver Broncos. So I'm looking at this game right here, and I'm saying they have to get one here, because I feel like John Gruden is too good of a head coach to lose this type of game against the Miami Dolphins. I don't see the Miami Dolphins going 3-0 on the season. So I'm going to go with the Raiders to win this game at Miami. Let's move on. Indianapolis at Philadelphia. And you look at this game, you have Frank Reich, his apprentice, being Doug Peterson, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, facing off this game. Andrew Luck versus Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz coming back into the season, being that he had an ACL injury. Now he's coming back in here, getting the groove. But I'm looking at this game, and I feel like it's going to be closer than people think. And I have the Indianapolis Colts winning this game simply because I look at the fact that Carson Wentz is probably not going to be as healthy as people think he may be. And Andrew Luck is starting to hit his stride right now. So I'm going to go with Andrew Luck going into Philly, winning this game. That's what good quarterbacks do, and he's a good quarterback. So I'm going to have Indy winning this game. So we have Tennessee versus Jacksonville. You look at this game, Tennessee is coming off a win against Houston, where Jacksonville is coming off a win against the Patriots. You look at this, And you see a Jacksonville Jaguars team who has a great defense and whatnot. Blake Bortles coming off an outstanding performance. Can he keep it up against the Titans? We don't know. But for right now, I'm going to have to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game simply because they played too well to fall off after 1 week. Even though I hope Tennessee wins this game, but most likely they will not. So I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game at Jacksonville. Let's move on. Cincinnati versus Carolina Panthers. Now, we look at this game, and Andy Dalton has been balling out there 2-0 on the season. And then you look at Carolina, who is 1-1 on the season, but bank on it. Cam Newton played the best ball of his career against Atlanta Falcons last week, and I feel like that will continue into this week, especially being at home against a Cincinnati team who is 2-0, and I don't really see them going 3-0 on the season right now. They got to show me a little bit more against this Cam Newton team. Maybe they come out here 3-0, but I'm looking at it right now, and I'm looking at Cam Newton being that if Cam Newton is on, he's virtually unstoppable. So I'm going to go with Cam Newton to win this game, especially because it's being at home. We look at the Denver Broncos versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, both of these teams, Denver having a great defense and Baltimore having a decent to good defense. You look at both of these teams match up pretty well, I think. There's no clear advantage, except for edge rushers probably. But at the same time, this game is played in Baltimore. So Baltimore, that's a tough place to play. And I don't see Denver going 3-0 in the season right now. This could be their first L in the season. So I got Baltimore winning this game at home. Let's move on to New Orleans versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now this game right here gonna be a shootout because when both of these teams come together, it's always something ugly. You see Matt Ryan, Drew Brees going against each other. Julio, you have Alvin Kamara on the other side. So it's all about, when I'm looking at the Falcons from last week against the Carolina Panthers, you look at a team that can execute everything perfectly offensively. They look like they're poised to make a long run, probably back to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. When I'm looking at these Falcons team, that offensive line is something crucial. With the addition of Julio and Calvin Ridley, this team should get it done against the Saints at home. So I got them winning this game. Now we have moved on to the LA Chargers versus the LA Rams. Now you look at this game right here, and people are going instantly and picking the Rams here. I'm not picking the Rams right here because I trust Phillip Rivers. I feel like he will win this game at LA. At the LA Rams house. Really, it's not really an advantage, but look, I feel like Phillip Rivers and that defense can get it done here, simply because I think Joey Bosa's coming back this game. So if he does, then I got him winning this game. So I got the Chargers here. They're gonna win this game. We look at the Bears versus Bears versus Arizona. You look at this game right here, and I did pick Arizona to be one of the best teams in the NFL, but right now it's not looking that way. Okay, it's not looking that way, but I feel like it's just the QB position right now. I feel like if they put Josh Rosen in there, everything would change tremendously because everybody likes to play behind somebody that they don't know what they get from. They don't know what kind of potential the QB has, and everything seems to click. Look at Jimmy G from last year, and I feel like if they did that, they would be better. That's a little quick tidbit, but I don't have them winning this game unless he plays in there. Maybe they have a shot, but I got the Chicago Bears winning this. Khalil Mack and their defense is way too good to lose this tight game. Arizona is a tough place to play, but nonetheless, I have the Bears winning at Arizona. Let's move on to the Cowboys versus Seattle. Now we look at this game, and the Cowboys traveled to Seattle coming off a win against the New York Giants, where that defensive line looked like something crucial. I mean, they look outstanding getting after the passer. I don't know if after the passer, I don't know if it was just the offensive line of the New York Giants, but that defensive line looked ferocious. I mean, they everything in sight, they had to take it down. So I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at Russell Wilson, and I'm looking at his offensive line, and that's the total opposite. The offensive line is terrible. I mean, he cannot stay off the ground, especially being that Russell Wilson is a running quarterback though, but he just looks like he's running for his life every time. So I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys to go into 12-man stadium and go pull out a win against the Seattle Seahawks, who I probably will end their season this upcoming week. So let's move on. Patriots versus the Detroit Lions. We look at this game, you see Matt Patricia going against his boss, Bill Belichick. And you look at this game is being played at Detroit. So Patriots are coming off a loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a ugly loss to put on their season, on their record. So I have them bouncing back and winning this game at Detroit. I feel like this shouldn't even be close because Bill Belichick is more competent on defensively than Matt Patricia ever was. So I'm gonna move on. Steelers versus the Buccaneers. This game is played at the Buccaneers. Steelers coming off a loss against the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Kansas City Chiefs blew them I mean, they didn't blow them. They gave them a run for their money. Their defense looked terrible against the Chiefs, and I expect it to look the same way against the Bucks. What makes you to expect that Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson and O.J. Howard is not going to tear up your defense? I mean, this game right here, in my opinion, it's not even close. Offensively, they can put up numbers, but at the same time, the Buccaneers defensive line can hold up to win this game. So I got the Bucks winning this game. Overall, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, comment your opinion below, turn on post notifications so you know every time I got some content for you. And I'm out. Sheesh.